All right, round three, team. We've been talking about it for a while, and now we are here. Chase and I finally got the schedules lined up, and we're able to kind of get the first round three dinner going, and we're just gonna dive right into it. I know I've kind of beat it like a dead horse, but Chase was just kind of able to dive into the card a little bit from last week, so we're
Mm.
just gonna go over three or four of the fights very quickly from the last card and just kind of give our perspective on it. So let's go from the bottom up, Chase.
Okay.
Mason Jones and I want to say, was it? Oh, goodness gracious! I wish I had it pulled up. That is terrible that I don't. But the Mason Jones fight, right? The Mason
Right.
Jones fight of the night. We know what we're talking about. He won
Mhm.
the fight, so I mean that's the guy we're talking about in this. When I was watching that fight, I clipped and actually a reaction to it, like a 2 or 3 minute long reaction, and he reminded me of you, man. Like watching this guy fight, I was like, this is I'm watching Chase Militia Keubler. So tell me what you saw watching that fight.
So the biggest thing with him, like, obviously he's got some techniques, and like everybody that makes it a level that much ahead of most people, right? But the thing with him that I think sets him apart, and we'll see exactly where the level is because the guy he fought was good, right? But obviously not a well known guy and not one of the ones that everybody's looking out for, right? But I think the one thing that sets him apart in my eyes from what I've seen is his tenacity, number one. And the biggest thing is his grit. Like we talk about it, like, oh, this guy's tough and everything else. But the fact that he was getting hit, he was bloody, right? And he was still like throwing bombs the whole time. To have that pace and cardio and that grit to just keep pressing and pressing and pressing. Like at the end of the fight, everybody's seen it. It's a huge highlight now. Throwing knees, he threw at least like, I don't know, 20, 25 knees right at the end, almost got the finish to where the ref was obviously heard the clackers. If you didn't hear those, I think they might have called the fight, honestly, but he gave him a chance off it. But I don't know, man. That guy gets some better guys. I guess we'll see because of that forward pressure. It might get him hit a bit more in the countering, but he he could be the guy next, that puts that pressure on people and starts beating them up there, especially if he can get him to the cage. That's where he looked like the most ferocious, at least to me.
Mhm. I agree 1,000%. And the thing that I liked most about him, like kind of to piggyback off what you said, the tenacity and the grit, but really just the recoverability.
Yeah.
For one, I mean, he got dropped in that first round. I mean, I think you said you just caught the last round. He got dropped in the first round with like a spinning back elbow, man. In the fight,
Yeah.
I mean, he almost got finished up. But my favorite thing that I liked, he does not let people rest off of breaks and resets.
Hmm.
He's right up in your face again, like throwing something, and that's why he reminded me of you. Like he does not, he's not into the whole reset. Okay, all right, let's get back into it. No, he's
Yeah.
he's throwing something right off of breaks, getting right up in your face, and making you uncomfortable, making it a fight.
Hmm.
That was my favorite thing watching him. So let's move on to oh goodness, the featured bout, which was the MVP fight. So tell me, I mean, I kind of gave, I was very critical of Sam Patterson, and I was
Right.
very more critical of Sam Patterson than anybody in that fight. I mean, we all know what MVP, brings to the table. So tell me what you saw in that fight.
I mean, I think the one thing that not MVP per se, like, I guess he kind of screwed the pooch at the end of it. Like the fight, the way it went. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But the one thing I do want to touch on that happened after the fight, which I think was a stupid move by him in particular, is he brought up that he trained with him before, which everybody kind of knew, and they kind of got the idea
Mm-hmm.
afterwards. But he did something really stupid on the camera afterwards, and it was something that he has a problem with. He's like, he didn't want to engage. He knows that really frustrates me in the fight. He knows that that makes me really frustrated, makes me extend more. Look, man, I know we're frustrated after the fight. It might have been really bad, or there wasn't a lot of action, which I'll get into. But like to mention one of your biggest flaws and to be so honest about it in front of the camera, saying it to the camera, that's like low grade. That's amateur shit, if I'm being honest, right? We don't do
Yeah.
that. We don't explain our biggest weaknesses, especially when like we're just now, getting to the bigger stage. Like, hey, we got that fight. It is what it is. They're gonna probably piggyback somebody off of him to beat the crap out of him now. I'm gonna be honest, so they can build their name off of him. But as for the fight, right? I think Sam did the right thing. obviously knew how he fights and everything else. But when he had those clinch positions and where he could actually fight him and he was touching him, it was too much pressing with the chest and then like that short claw position with the hands. Like when you're there, it's got to be dirty, short strikes, almost like when he fought Douglas Lima, I think, or Diego Lima, one of the Lima brothers. Like keeping it dirty whenever he's trying to blitz in, trying to catch those legs. And the big thing that Lima was trying to do that I didn't see Sam doing, especially like Sam's good. Like he won his last few fights, I think by knockout or TKO. Not to
Keep
mention the
going,
fact that
Chase. I
like
just gotta check and make sure my dog's still right here.
you're good, you're good. Basically, like the biggest thing that I seen is like Sam never pulled the trigger because he was worried about MVP either. It's super exchanging in. Well, when he comes in like that, you basically gotta cut him off, number one, and then hit those counters when you're cutting off. I think he did a good job of
Right.
cutting him off and like waiting. But the biggest thing was he wasn't striking at those moments too when he's got him coming in a little bit, or when he had him against the wall or the cage in particular,
I
you know.
agree.
So I mean, that's just my opinion about it. It was kind of boring, but it was like also from an outside perspective, a guy that trains a lot, I thought it was kind of entertaining in a way too, just to see like, oh, this is something he's very bad at. It's almost like Anthony Pettis, right? When he got that grinder and then like what was it? RDR, like I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raphael. Yeah. So he figured out his style and started beating him up all the time. Well, I think they might have opened Pandora's box on MVP a little bit.
Yeah. No, I can't help but agree. I mean, I just my biggest criticism, and then we'll move on after this, was just the low volume. I mean,
Mhm.
and the low volume in strikes, and then the low volume with the takedown attempts. I mean, he said all week, "Oh, I'm a mixed martial artist. I'm a mixed martial artist." So that's what everyone kept
Yeah.
saying. Oh, he's gonna wrestle. He's gonna wrestle. Well, he had I think 2 or 3 takedown attempts. He was not trying. He was consistently. So on to the co-main event.
Mhm.
And that was Luke Riley versus Michael Ashwell, which was a great fight. Great
Fight
fight. I
Club.
don't know how much of it you got to watch, but tell me what you thought.
So I MVP. We got that fight. That was just driving back from Charlotte. Had that fight on the whole time, rally. And I was like, okay, fun guy. I've seen him strike and stuff like that. The one thing, great striker. Actually has really good positioning and stuff too, and especially when
Yeah,
Homeboy was trying to take him down and stuff. He always got in that low shell position, so like the shots weren't there as much. I love his striking. He has a great hook to it too, and he actually puts some real pop on his shots. The one thing that's going to get him caught, though, I feel like, and especially because it did in his first fight in the UFC, dude, that chin is wide open every time he throws a hook.
yeah.
Every time he throws a hook. So, like, I know Patty's got that problem too when he throws hooks because
Hmm.
that's Patty's only good punch, really. Like, if you watch him throw it too,
Yeah.
he's throwing mollywops, bro. Every time he's just like, and it's sad to watch, but like, he looks like a cat. But Luke looks a little bit cleaner. Obviously, grappling's so. It's pretty good. I mean, he's got really good defense, but like that chin being up on that hook's gonna get him caught eventually, and hopefully, it doesn't put his lights out.
Yeah, in my breakdown, I said Luke Riley, he's a great striker, but he carries that chin high, just just like his buddy Patty. That was my exact quote. So it's funny that you say that. Um, yeah, I mean, oh, great fight overall. I feel like that fight could have easily gotten fight of the night as well.
Yeah.
Um, Luke Riley's going to be great. He's a great prospect. He's going to be
Mhm.
awesome to watch. But so is Michael Ashwell. I feel like he has a little bit to clean up, but he has great volume. He's going to be a good fighter too. So, I mean, I think it was a good fight to put in the co-main event in that spot. So, on to the co-main event. Let's just touch on this briefly. Just give me. Did you watch the whole fight?
The main event or the co-main? That was the
Yeah, the main
co-main, right?
event.
The main
The main
event?
event.
Yeah, the main event I did watch, and like I'm not even gonna lie, like when I was driving back, I paid more attention to the co-main event than I did the main event. That's for sure. Because like the main event, like every time I look over it, I know probably everybody said this, and I'm gonna be copping what everybody else said. It looked like a sparring match. Every time I looked over, it was like guys touching, barely playing, trying to
Yeah.
set up positioning and stuff. But it
Yep.
didn't look like anything too crazy, at least in my eyes. It looked like a lot of guys that were just trying to feel each other out. But that filling out process usually only lasts you about a round. After a round, you can start stepping it up, setting up your traps and everything else, and like actually starting to explode.
Yeah.
Nobody pulled the trigger really. Like even at one
I
point,
agree.
I remember the point getting taken away, right, and everything else. I looked at my friend when I
I
was
got
driving.
two
I was like, I
people
don't
in the
even know what
chat.
happened.
Thank you, everybody. Keep going, Chase. My bad, buddy.
Oh, you're good.
Keep going.
Yeah, no, like it was very awkward because I'm like, bro, what happened? And I'm like looking at him trying to pay attention while also looking. Thankfully, we're on a highway, so I can just hear it in the background, podcasting style. But it's like I don't even know what's going on at this point. And he's telling me I can't even tell you I wasn't even paying attention. If my passenger is not even paying attention to the fight, that tells you it right there. I think that fight was worse than the MVP fight for me personally, just because there was
Okay.
no intent on anything. Like the
Wow.
one like the few grappling exchanges they had, all right, it was kind of cool. Like Imavov caught a few of his kicks and he used those to take the back and even off the spinning back elbow, he was really watching for that because obviously Murphy's thrown it a few times in a few other fights, but
Right. Right.
he countered it very well to take the back when he would lower his head, get under it, and then go straight through, or he'd make sure he was out of range so he wasn't in that close range positioning. But there wasn't a lot of takedown defense, and I don't know if that was because he was worried about that spinning back elbow, but like when he did commit to it, he took him down. He took his back and then he rode him to the fence. So I don't know. It was just a very awkward fight, at least in my
I
eyes.
agree. I think he was just worried about his gas tank. I think coming off that long layoff, I don't think he wanted to push the pace early because he knew he was going to blow his gas tank. But we're already at 10 minutes on this card, so let's what was your score? How did you score the fight? Tell me how you
I
scored
had
it.
a draw. Honestly, a draw. I had
Draw. Yeah.
two. It was like 2 rounds apiece, and then with a point deduction, I gave that obviously that 1 round a draw to each other. But I had Imavov without the point deduction. I had him 3-2.
Right.
So
Whatever. Yeah.
whatever, bro. He's
Same
Russian. Who
difference.
cares?
Yeah, same difference. All these names. You should hear me in my
You're
quick
better
picks,
than
man.
me.
I'm
Hey, it's all
stumbling
right.
over stumbling over names left and right. But thank you to everyone who's here right now. This is Chase, Militia Keubler. I'm Rayfield Garrett, the host of Round 3. This is the first Round 3 dinner. We're going to be doing this Sundays, right? Is that what we agreed on for the most
Yeah,
part? This is
yeah, Sunday.
this is a special episode. Sundays is what we're going to be doing primarily, but any other time we can kind of link up with a week like this, we're going to try to get out here with you guys and kind of
Mhm.
just talk some fights. So we just got done breaking down the card from last week. So let's look ahead um, to the fight card next week, which is headlined by Israel Adesanya and Joe Pyfer. So let's just start right at the top and tell me what you think of this matchup, just in general, man.
Well, I think it's funny because we're a little bit on different sides on this one. I know you. I had your breakdown. You talked about how you have Izzy winning this one. Talking
Yeah.
about the brighter lights for Joe and everything else. I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with the young cat this time. I just have a good feeling about this kid. I don't know why, but like the way he talks about fighting, the pressure that he puts on himself in a good way. Like sometimes guys can't handle the pressure and they kind of fold under it, especially with a guy like Izzy, right? And I think like Paulo
Absolutely.
Costa is a perfect example for that. We watch Paulo Costa, he goes into that fight, he talks his big game and everything else, but when he showed up at the fight, like in the face, he just looked a little bit flat. He didn't look like he gave back that same energy that he had throughout the whole entire
Right.
fight. When
I
you're looking
agree a
at
thousand percent.
See, and that's the thing. Like when you look at Joe when he's like getting ready to fight this fight in particular, and he's like talking about like how this fight's gonna go, what he's got planned next, what he's thinking about these other fights. There's like a confidence and like a realness to it where it's not like a facade. And I think that's one thing when he steps in the cage, he's actually better than he is in the gym because they'll even show videos of him getting smashed, everything else. I mean, Izzy does that too. Not saying that it's a good or bad thing, but there's
Right.
not a fakeness to him, and I think that real sharp edge that he has right now, where he can grind and he can still get hit in those spots in the center. I think he might have the edge on him, not only for grappling, but also like in the pocket fighting. His defense is just above and beyond right now.
Okay. I like that take. I respect that take absolutely. I mean, I'm even saying I personally think Joe Piper's win condition in this fight is the first couple rounds. I
Right.
think the longer this fight goes, the more Izzy will get his reads, the
Mhm.
slower Joe Piper will become. And it's not like he slows down a ton, but that's just kind of my take on it.
Mhm.
I think this is going to be the biggest fight of his career, and I think he is going to come out just trying to preserve that gas tank, and I think he's going to fall a little bit behind. And by the time that he needs to kind of play catch up, I don't think he's going to have the gas to do it. So that's just kind of how I'm reading this fight, and I'm excited either way. I mean, I feel like this. I mean, we haven't seen Izzy fight in over a year. We all know the spectacle it is when Izzy fights and just the show that he puts on. And I don't know if I've told you this, but I did a live show the other day, just kind of highlighting how I used to just be an Izzy hater, and I used to hate watch Izzy, and I wanted him to lose
That
every
was
single
me.
fight
I'm
that
not
he
even gonna
watched.
lie.
So it's, and a lot of it was because of just how much he would talk about John Jones, and I'm a huge John Jones
Yeah.
fan. But now, years later, seeing everything that he's done, and just seeing how he carries himself after all these losses. And I've said it plenty of times, and I'll keep saying it. Izzy doesn't have a main character syndrome. He did when he was on top, which is absolutely okay.
Mhm.
But now that he's not in the spotlight anymore, he's completely okay with it. He's all right with not being the star. He's not posting on Twitter every time there's a main
Yeah.
event in the UFC. He's enjoying his life. And now, guess what? It's his time right now to be in a main event, and he's talking a little bit. So it's going to be awesome to see just what he can do. Haven't seen him in over a year, and I was rooting for him. I didn't watch the Imanov fight live. The
Yeah.
Imavov fight live. I saw the replays, and that's one that I highlighted in my breakdown. And
Mhm.
I mentioned there was an eye poke that Izzy received, and he didn't take the time. He pushed the ref away right away, and got right back in the fight, and he got finished
Mhm.
10 seconds later. Should
Okay.
have took that time, right? You get fouled.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they stop the fight. There's a reason you get time in situations like that. So don't want to harp on it too much. You want to hear
Mhm.
more about that? You go to my breakdown. You heard Chase's opinion on it. He's got Joe Pfeiffer. I'm on the other side with Israel Adesanya this week. So let's go down to the co-main event and tell me. Now, you said you were a fan of Macy Barber.
Yep.
So tell me what what's do you have any kind of like personal experience with her? Have you trained with her at all or around
No.
her?
So like for her in particular, she used to train with a lot of people that I've trained with. So like through the grapevine, I heard about her and stuff through some other people. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Girl fight. I don't pay attention to girl fights. I'm gonna be straight with you guys. Not that
Yeah,
they're
no, you're
bad.
okay.
They're just not good. Girl fights ain't bad. They're just not good. Um,
Yeah.
that being said, Alexa Grasso, and I'll go to Macy again, but Alexa Grasso is just on a downhill spiral. She beat uh obviously Valentina, and after that, she got murked by her the next fight. And it just seems like she's a momentum based fighter, whereas like Macy, she's the girl with 1,000 excuses, but as soon as she's like 100% right, she's in the right. Like when she lost to Roxanne Modafferi, like you've seen that little bit of like that armor kind of crack and break, kind of like Ronda, right? And
Right.
you can see a little bit of attitude and the little like the huff and puff kind of come out in her. But like
Yeah, absolutely.
so like on that
Exactly
edge,
what you mean.
but like her talent and her skills and the way she is right now, as long as she's healthy, because that's the biggest thing. I mean, what she pulled out of her last fight, I think, right?
Yeah, she had a fight scheduled. Well, no, her last fight, she was Karine Silva, I want to say, but the fight before
Okay.
last
Yeah.
against
Okay.
Blanchfield, and that was a really big
That's it.
fight, and that was a
Yep.
really big because it was last second she pulled out. I think like the day of the
Yeah.
fight.
She had like a seizure, I think it was, and
Yeah,
then everybody
like
was like
yeah,
saying,
it's at the day of or day before. She
yeah.
was sick. Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. I think she has all the skills. I think she's one of the most talented girls in that division. But the only thing, because that's why it's a wishy-washy fight for me. Like Alexia Grasso is really good, but she's a momentum-based fighter. She's on these losses. She's mentally like too worried about Diego and stuff like that because they still got their thing going on and everything else. But like, I see this for her. I see Macy's at a point where she can go up or down. She's roller coastering, and she has all the skills, but like that mental is a little rough, and that's something she needs to clean up. Personally, I think.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I don't, and that's the main thing, man. Is just not really where she's at mentally because she seems like she's doing just fine now.
Mhm.
Everyone, I mean, we've all dealt with it. We've all had our
Yeah.
bouts of depression. We've been up and down, right? I mean, that's life. But my issue with it's just activity because you're able
Yeah.
to fight through those things or you're not, right? So I mean, she's only had two fights since March of 2024, and
Mhm.
I can't get behind someone, you know, with a record like that. So that's where I'm at with Macy. It's gonna be a good fight. Co-main and main event are gonna be two awesome fights. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna go down the card a little bit more here, Chase, and you tell me. You just
Yep.
stop me when you hear a fight that you want to talk about a little bit. Okay. Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price.
Dude, Michael Chiesa's still fighting. I mean, like,
He,
and Nico Price, bro. What is
he's
this? Both the
he,
retirement fights?
yeah, they should both. They probably should both retire after this fight. Yeah.
Michael Chiesa's gonna smoke
Um,
him, I think. Even though Nico Price is a good guy and he's got 1,000 kids, you know. I mean, I
yeah,
hope he wins for all those kids, but Michael Chiesa is probably gonna take that one.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Julian Erosa versus Larion Douglas.
I don't know who that guy is. I'm gonna be straight with you. I don't know who that is.
I'm not familiar with Larion Douglas. I've just watched highlights. He's my pick this week. He's been rolling. He's the hot guy right now.
Okay.
Mansoor Abdul Malik versus Yosuri Belgari.
Nope.
All right, we'll
Neither
keep
of them,
going.
bro. I'm a terrible person at this.
No, you're good, man. You're good. And like I said, this is Chase Keebler. He's in it, man. He's like me. People always ask me about all kinds of soccer players and say, I'm like, I play, and I coach. I'm not watching. I don't. So I feel you on that. That's funny. Terrence
Fair.
McKinney versus Kyle Nelson.
Ooh. Ooh, that's a good fight. I think that's a
It is a
sleeper
good
fight.
fight.
That's a sleeper fight.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of McKinney,
and
bro.
that's starting off the main card too. They did that right.
Oh. I hope McKinney wins. Like honestly, because I know he's been up and down. I don't know, man. I hope
Yeah,
McKinney
his
gets
whole
it done.
career, whole career.
Yeah,
That's the story of his career. Is he's win one, lose one, but I mean, you can go for first round, win or die, live or die. That's what I
yeah.
love about Terrence McKinney. He's
So
one of my four most confident picks this week, and
is he?
he's
I got one for you. You know the first guy I fought, Antoine Steele. That was his training partner.
really
Yeah. Mhm.
okay. That's see
Yeah.
that this is why I love doing this, man. I love doing stuff like this. So Antoine Steele, I remember because when we did our interview, I had
Mhm.
notes on Antoine Steele. So Antoine Steele used to train with Terrence McKinney, or does he
Yep.
still train with them?
Maybe I haven't really catched up with him too much. I know he's still working with the kids youth program for the wrestling stuff, and then but I
Okay,
think he did a lot of stand up with him and working with him. As far as I know, he did mitts and there was a bunch of stuff I've seen. I didn't want to fall too much into it watching and stuff, but I know he's worked with him quite a bit and they were part of the same team along with Jamal Hill and all that stuff.
right, right. I tried adding Jamal Hill on Facebook. He didn't accept it.
He's a he's a little bit different. I met him in person one time and his team is I don't know, they like talking crap. They're funny.
Yeah, I mean, was he? He seems like. I mean, he acts like he's at least a laid back guy to fans. How was he? Like,
He was
did you
okay.
shake his
His
hand
team
or?
no, I didn't need to. His team was a little weird. When I fought Antoine, they were like blasting music in the weight room or like when we were doing
Yeah,
weight cuts
okay,
and stuff like that, annoying a bunch of people, like boombox speaker on his backpack playing loud like rap music and stuff, and then in the back,
right.
like talking crap to me in the back while we're doing our drug test. I had like for us they do a saliva drug test. They're doing the saliva drug test and like I hear his coach, you had a beep, blah blah blah, beep beep beep, this that and the other. I look at my coach, I look back, and my coach is like, no, and he's like, do not start talking. I was like, come on, man. He's like, you're not allowed to shut the. I was like, all right, man. He's like, no. He's like, if you do anything for me, do this for me. I was like, all right. So I kept my mouth shut, but I remember him just talking and talking and talking about me. I was like, so I looked at Antoine. I was like, hey, thanks for the fight. I gave him a hug. I was like, thank you. I was like, your coach, that was funny. And he just looked at me and he just shook his head. Antoine was a good guy. His team, a little weird.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like Jamal Hill's team. Let's move on here to so that's the main card. So
Mhm.
let's just go bottom up from here. So you went top down on the main card. We'll go bottom up on the
Right.
prelims. So are you familiar with Alexei Thayanara or Bruno Brazil?
No, I don't think so. Maybe if I seen face,
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that one. I know
We'll move
Ricky
on.
Simone's on
Ricky
this one, didn't
Simone versus Adrian Yanez.
he? Adrian Yanez, I like him. He's not bad. He's got that good long range style. I'm a big fan actually of Ricky Simone, dude. I really like Ricky. I don't know
Yeah,
why. Like, maybe it's his fighting style or something, but like his personality, the way he fights, I have him on Instagram, I'm always watching his stuff. I just like how he likes to fight in the pocket and then like he has those shining moments where you're like, man, this guy could be a champion. It's just he's
yeah,
had a few rough breaks. It's like who's another Alex Hernandez, right? you see him, I lost the Cowboy and stuff, and he had like that moment, and now
Yeah,
he's like the older dude
yeah.
is back. Like I don't know, I feel like the same thing for
I gotta
Ricky.
say, that is to me personally, that's the
Yeah,
number one when trash talk goes wrong moment,
yeah,
like
yeah.
in the history of sports. Period. So if you haven't seen that, go look up. You got three people. Thank you everyone who's here. We got three people in here right now. Please, if you haven't, go look up Alex Hernandez versus Cowboy Cerrone. Trash talk goes wrong. It's a great little clip that someone put together years ago. I promise it's awesome. So sorry to cut you off. Go ahead and keep going,
No,
Mike.
no, no. I basically fighting style wise kind of reminds me of that. He's like on the upswing. He just needs to get over that hill. I feel like he could really do something and shake up the numbers. Like, not saying that, his opponent isn't good. I think he's really good too, and he's had those hot flash in the pan moments. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm really pulling for Ricky on this one.
I'm with you. I like Ricky Simone. I took Ricky Simone in that fight, but Adrian Yanez is one of my favorite underdogs this week. I know it's
Hmm.
that's the classic contradictory content creator thing to do, right? I did it a little. I did it a
That's
couple
why we're
times
both
this week,
on here.
but
You got the common dude, and you got the analyst, bro.
right. No, but that's how I look at it, though. I think Adrian Yanez. I was surprised to see he was an underdog, and I was
Yeah.
surprised to see that fight so low down on the card. I mean, I think that's the second fight of the card.
They really got Giannis as the underdog. I'm surprised. I thought Ricky would be the underdog on that.
Yeah, Yanez is a he's a plus. I want to say he's a plus 122 underdog. So
That would
yeah,
actually,
I
I'm not
was
telling
shocked to
anybody
see
to
that
bet,
too.
but that'd be the bet to make, honestly, if you're trying to make something.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next fight. We spent enough time on that one.
Yeah.
Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez.
I feel like I do know what that is, but I can't picture it right now.
Yeah, Navajo Sterling's an up and comer. I mean, they're kind of
Next time I'll make
lower
sure I have my
tier
laptop so I
fighters.
can look at the faces when we're doing this. So that way I have more of an idea. Because I'm better with faces. I'm terrible with names sometimes.
Yeah, no, fair, right, exactly. Yeah, but like I said, first live show, everybody. We're gonna get it rolling. We'll have graphics up on the screen.
Mm.
Not to dominate too much because that's not really my style. But Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune.
Ooh,
I know you probably know
that's a good fight.
Tybura.
Tybora,
Heavyweights.
yeah, that's a good one. Um, shoot, I don't know which way to go on that one. Ty, Tybora's good, but he's always been in like the middle of the pack. That one's a 50-50 for me, man. I got it both ways on that one, honestly.
Yeah,
Tybora's good, but he's very like he can be a dud.
he's up and down. He's hot and cold. I mean, it depends on what version of him shows up. Because he's the kind of guy who, I mean, he'll get hit once or twice clean and he'll just turn, fall over and shell up, you know what I mean, and go in the fetal
Yeah.
position. So, next fight, which is actually one of my most confident picks here, Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr.
You going with Chase?
I'm going with Chase. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
about to say, yeah, because like Lance,
Yeah.
I've seen him one time. I seen him one time. Okay, you know, I mean, nothing to talk about, but they're really trying to push Chase right now. Especially with his style. I don't know why, but they really like him. Maybe because of the contender series stuff, and then he went up from 45 to 55. I don't know. I mean, I just think it's kind of weird how they're trying to push him right now.
Yeah, it's it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, you know what? Why not? We're live. We're hanging out. Let me just pull up his record right now because he's 26. I want to say yeah, because he's been in the UFC for a while. 2019. I thought he was in there yeah since he was like 20. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chase Hooper. Yeah, he had one fight in 2019,
Yep.
two fights in 2020,
Hmm.
one fight in 2021. Like they really slow rolled him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wasn't
Two
he
fights in
like Guida's last fight?
2022, two fights in 2023. His last fight was he got knocked out against Hernandez.
Yep.
We were just
Hmm.
talking about. So I mean,
Yep.
he's I feel he's learned from that, because
Hmm.
he was getting really comfortable on the feet in his
Right.
last few fights.
I
Really, really
remember watching
comfortable
that
throwing his
fight.
hands.
He was beating him up on the outside too. He was actually
Yeah,
like He was winning that fight, and
He
then
was.
obviously Hernandez has that crazy power. I think he
Right.
overextended and then walked
Yep.
inside instead of playing the outside, and I think he got caught.
He got clipped.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he learned from that, but I mean, he has not. Yeah, he hasn't fought more than twice in a year since he's been in the
Okay.
UFC.
Hmm.
I find that very odd. I find that very odd. So, but yeah, I mean, he's 26 now. I mean, he's
Mhm.
got a handful of UFC fights under his belt. I mean, this is, I mean, close to 10 UFC fights. So this is kind. I think this is it. I think this is kind of where he's got to make a little run, right? I mean, wouldn't you agree?
I would think so. Like especially with a name like this. I mean, not to say nothing about the guy. The guy's in there. I think he's fought tougher competition though, and then this will kind of see if he's ready to make it or break it. Kind of. I mean, the Alex one was kind of rough. I think the UFC was trying to bring Alex in to be a name for him to start building himself at
Yeah,
50.
I agree.
So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to build him up again and be another name because a lot of people do talk about Chase, but I guess we'll see. I think he gets it done. I think this is a very easy pick, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. That's why he's one of my foremost confidence this week. And so yeah, I mean Lance Gibson's okay, but he's too outsized and it's not a good stylistic matchup. So on to the last matchup that we'll break down, and then we'll kind of move into just some other topics here, non
Okay.
MMA topics. Ignacio Bahamendez versus Tofik Masayev. Are you familiar with Bahamendez
Peak,
at
I don't
least?
know, but I know Baja.
Yeah, Baja's
Um,
good. I'm going with Bahamendez this week. He's a pretty big
okay.
favorite. Tofik, I've been seeing a lot of people on him as an underdog as well. I don't really see it. I think Baja Mendes is probably going to get him out of there. Well,
Okay.
how do you feel about Baja Mendes just in
I
general?
think Baja Mendez is like one of those guys that actually could make it like into the top five contenders just because of the way he fights. I don't know. He's just got something special. Like you see it in some people, and just like there's something special about him. But it takes these type of fights where he's just trying to get the highlights going. So no, no ill will to Tofik or anything. Like I don't even know him really. But Baja's just like one of those guys. I always enjoy watching him fight.
Okay, I respect it. All right, well that is Militia's take and my take on the UFC Seattle card that is coming this Saturday. So be sure to check that one out. I mean, we got Izzy at the top of the bill, and it's been not well over, just over a year since Adesanya's fought. And Adesanya is one of the most electric fighters in UFC history, period. I mean, he's must watch TV.
Mhm.
He was one of the most active champions in UFC history. I mean, we really got spoiled with Izzy, and I don't. I mean, I didn't appreciate it. I can tell you that right now. Chase and I were
Yeah.
talking off air a little bit, and I think he was kind of in the same boat. We were just a lot of people were. You know, he's kind of the new guy coming up and winning a bunch, and
Mhm.
it's just natural to kind of give that
It
hate,
is,
right? When
bro.
you've been watching the fights for a while and you like your veterans and this and that,
Yeah.
and he's just talking bad. And like I said, he was just really vulgar and just all very immature almost in a lot of his interviews. But
He was always
I feel
talking
he's
bad about
really grown
everybody.
up.
He's yeah, that's the biggest thing because he used to have like all those corny lines. He would try to push him out so hard that they would come out bad, like just like
Yep.
Elsa, I'm gonna leave you frozen. It's just like oof, bro.
Yes.
And being
Exactly.
funny, the guy I am, I even said stuff like that in my last fight, just trying to make fun of him. But it's I don't know, man. He's a nice guy. He's definitely mellowed out. Maybe with age, it did it to him, but
Yes.
we'll see. I guess.
Age and losses. You know what I mean? When you're winning all those fights and you're young, because he wasn't that young. I mean, the guy was in his late 20s. He's 35, 36 now. I mean, when he was in his peak, like talking about going against Jones and stuff. I mean, he was 31, 32.
Yeah.
So he's only a couple years younger than John Jones. So it's just funny. Um, it's funny. Everyone thought of him as just a super young up and comer, but no, he was a little bit older. He had a whole kickboxing career beforehand. You know what I mean? So on to other things here. It's going to be an awesome card. I'm super excited for it. So hopefully, I don't know how busy you're going to be. Hopefully, you can get to tune into it, and hopefully, we can break it down on Sunday. And if not, we can still jump on here and just, rap about something.
Right.
Like this subject here that we talked about a little bit before off air. Dana White, I almost want to try and see if I can pull up the quote here. But I don't know the exact quote, I don't know the exact story, but long story short, the UFC for years accommodated fighters
Hmm.
and their team for all travel expenses, hotels, anything that needed to be paid for when they were traveling for their fighter, the UFC took care of it.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if you can help me out here, Chase. It's just the head coach that's only
Just the head.
accommodated?
It's just the head
Okay.
coach. And
Well, tell
then
me what
like
you think of that.
I mean, so I understand what they're trying to do, but there's a better way they could do it. And what I mean by that is you got those people that travel with like 6, 7, 8 people, right? There's no need for that. There should be a limit, and it should be 3 people. It should be all the people you're allowed to have in your corner are all the ones that the UFC should pay for. Now, and the reason why I bring this up, there's no argument that the UFC makes hand over fist, because I know there's that meme going around and probably everybody's seen it, and all the people that are live right now have probably seen the meme too. The WNBA's revenue compared to the UFC's revenue. The
Yeah.
growth that the UFC had compared to the WNBA, and the WNBA is making hundreds of thousands more. Obviously, they're playing a lot more, but even their people on the bench are making more than the people that are actually fighting. That being said, it just doesn't make sense. Why don't you just pay at least for the cornermen that are going to be in the corner? Now, the entourage and everything else, that should be on them. That's not for the UFC to pay for. That's your friends, that's your homies, whatever else you're doing. But the 3 people, your 2 assistant coaches and your head coach, they should be taken care of 100%, because I already know that they're getting those fight kits still, because I've had friends that are, fought in the UFC and still are currently going to be in the UFC. But like, just to pay for the head coach, it's almost a slap in the face. I know we talked about this a bit, and something I got to explain to everybody else. Whatever, like the UFC doesn't pay for, or a promotion doesn't pay for, I have to pay for. So with them
Mm-hmm.
not paying for it, I'm making even less money now on top of the money that I'm already paying my coach. So like, dude, we're already talking about fighter pay and like us not getting paid enough. This is just another blow to us in general. And then nobody wants to talk about like about the money in general, and like, oh, this is the top promotions, this is where you're gonna get all your sponsorships, this is where you're gonna get all this stuff going. But if we're getting more and more money taken away from us, then what are we supposed to do? Just eat it? Just be like, it's whatever, it's UFC. I know they
Right.
talked about this, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they try to bring this up like 3 years ago or something like that? They tried to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the corner pay specifically, but just fighter pay has just been a huge topic for the past 5, 6 years.
Mm,
And I don't want to get into it too much, but yeah, they I feel like they take advantage. They get people to sign these contracts and dangle just that
hmm.
fighting in the UFC carrot,
Yeah.
and that's what gets people to really bite. So it is what it is. I don't think it's gonna stop. The way they put things and just have things contracted, it is what it is. I mean, it would be it have to be a whole revamp in the pay
Yeah.
structure, and that's just not anything that's not anything that's going to happen. It's not anything that's realistic. And I feel the main issue with just fighter pay right now and just everything that's happening is just the new contract that they just signed with Paramount and just all this money that is perceivably coming in. I mean, we don't know everything that's happening behind the scenes, but I don't want to get too much into that. I just kind of wanted to get just a quick opinion from you on that, and yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. So tell me, Chase, I kind of wanted to get into just kind of your coaching life, and just recently your team had a bit of a scare. So why don't you go ahead and get into that?
All right. So we had 2 guys that were supposed to fight last weekend. My main teammate slash my main student that helped me build the team and kind of do the MMA stuff here. Now, that being said, I'll get into it a little bit. In Greenville, where I stay in North Carolina, I'm not getting paid for this. That's why I travel to Raleigh and everything else to get my main coaching. That's why when I first moved here, I went to Raleigh, because more of the other guys were, the better guys were there and everything else. Well, for me to travel out there all the time, that's like almost 2 hours every time. So I was like,
Mm.
crap, I got to figure this out. There was a amateur kid training at this gym named Noah. I started training with him. Cool. Went from that, built up, got like 4 or 5 more guys. And so Noah is the champion of fight for it. And we had another guy named Brendan that was on the card. Well, Noah's opponent wanted a catch weight and he wanted it to be 195. No, and this is 2 weeks before the fight. Noah was already 193, so it just didn't even make sense. And then this opponent of Noah's has never made 185. As a coach, it doesn't make sense to take the fight in general. It just doesn't. You've never made 185, but you wanted to fight for the 185-pound championship. So Noah was off the card. After that happens, we still got Brendan. Brendan had a fight. It was a very, very, very favorable fight for Brendan. I think, honestly, Brendan would have just took it to this guy. It would have been great. I guess he's never cut weight, and he failed to tell me that. And he's fought before, and he's 1-0. But he'll tell you it like he's 0-1, right? Because he hated the end of his performance and stuff of that fight. Great kid, one of the best like straight jiu-jitsu artists, like very talented for it. So we go into Friday morning. He's supposed to weigh in at 5:30. He comes to the garage where we cut weight. We have a sauna there and a bunch of other equipment. He goes in and we check his weight, 154.5 pounds. He's got to weigh in at 146. In my head, I'm like, all right, not terrible. I've cut 7 pounds an hour, whatever. But also, I hear from him, is that good? I'm like, what do you mean is that good? He's like, oh, yeah, I've never cut weight. In my head now, I'm like, crap. We spend an hour and a half of doing mitts with him, making him go into the sauna. Mind you, let me even bring it back a little bit more. Me being the person I am, I'm like, I should bring my sweet sweat, which if you guys don't know what sweet sweat is, it's a cream you rub on your body, almost like a cocoa butter and stuff like that. What it does is it makes you sweat more. A lot of fighters use it to help you sweat and everything else. I'm like, all right, I'll bring that just in case, because these guys probably don't have it. And then I'm like, I'll bring my sauna suit too. I go into the gym. All he had was a pair of sweatpants and a hoodie. It's like, brother, we're 9.5 pounds over. What are we doing? I'm like, all right. So I give him my sauna suit because thankfully I was smart and I know how dumb fighters are. Because we are very dumb. All my students are very dumb, including Noah, if you're listening to this. Which I've had to boil a mouth guard for him a few hours before his fight in a coffee pot, which I'll explain that story one day. So I'm cutting weight with this kid, and we're going on the hour and a half. He's like, can I check my weight? I'm like, yeah, let's check your weight. We check his weight, 151, 3 pounds. That was it. After doing an hour and a half already, I'm like, oh boy, we're going to be in for the long haul. So I'm like, all right, we're done working. We're done exercising. I don't want to blow out his arms or legs, and it's going to be a long haul for this guy. So I learned a trick from my original coach. It's called credit card swiping. You take a credit card, and what you do is when you're sitting in the sauna, you take it and you break off the beads. Every time you sweat, you wipe off the beads. So that way he has to keep on building more sweat. So I have him in the sauna for like 15. Pull him out, wrap him in it's called the burrito. It's just a bunch of towels. You lay him on the ground. You wrap him up in it. You probably seen like a good one is Chris Cyborg when she does it and stuff and everything like that.
Yeah.
So So we wrap him in a burrito for 5 minutes. You go back in the sauna for 10. After the 10 minutes, go back in the burrito for another 5. Put you in the sauna for 15. Third set. Mind you, we're doing this for quite a while. We did that whole session. Checks his weight again. 149. I'm like, all right, bro. We're gonna do it one more time. I made him do it one more time. We get him all the way down to 147. Awesome. He's got a 4-hour drive to Charlotte. It's 1:00. You have to be on the road now. So right before he leaves, we get another sauna suit for him because this one's drenched at this point. It wouldn't have done him no good. And if you've heard of the cutting weight sauna suits, the one Michael Chandler uses, it's like and that's the one I use, so I let him use that. It's like a wetsuit kind of, so it'll hold the moisture sometimes instead of like the plastic.
I've seen those. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're great to train in, but they're kind of like once they're wet, they're done. They're done. There is no more going back. So we got him. The guy named Eric, whose garages we use, and he's my nutritionist. We put him in an XL sauna suit. So we have him throw his hoodie on, his hood, his sweatpants, everything. Put the sweet sweat back on him. Put him in the sauna. Noah drives him down with his wife, And as they're driving around, they turn on the air, and now they got him in a basically a sauna to where the car's steaming up. They have to wind down the windows after 15 minutes. The dude's just laying in the back sweating. They check his weight after driving for like an hour because Noah's dying at this point, and he's like, "Man, why am I doing this shit for you?" And they go and check his weight at the gas station. At the gas station, he's 146. Perfect. I was like, "Hey, man, if their weight scale's a little bit off, let's just have you spit in a bottle." He spits in a bottle a bit. We get to the weigh-in. He's at the weigh-in place. Weight's good, 154.6. Awesome. He does it. Literally, not even 2 seconds later, sprinting outside, throws up immediately. We're like, crap. Maybe it was like the smell in the room. It was very musty,
Right.
kind of great. So they're calling me that he's doing this. I was like, all right, just have him chill out for a while. Just keep him cool. Make sure he's getting air. We had 3 bottles for his hydration kit, which were just like, just basically recovery stuff, like your electrolytes and everything else you need. He's trying to drink it.
Right.
Anytime anything touches his lips or he starts drinking, immediately throwing up. Anything he eats, immediately throwing up. So they're calling me. They're explaining this all to me. They get him back to the hotel. Same thing. Every like 10 minutes, throwing up stomach acid, throwing up stomach acid. Well, my fiance, she's a doctor. She's like, he has low electrolytes. He probably has a little bit of kidney damage. Get him to the ER. They're kind of waiting, Now he's not throwing up until every 30 minutes. Well, I'm like, hey, if anything, if he can't stand the taste of the electrolyte drinks he has, let's just go get him some water, throw some salt in it, give it to him. As soon as he gives it to him, immediately throwing up. I'm like, hey, go take him to the hospital. They take him to the hospital. They give him an IV, and they basically say he has like a little bit of some liver, kidney damage. I think it was kidney damage, like minor kidney damage and stuff like that. They put him full of like saline bags. They give him like 5 saline bags and they call it like the throw up tonic, but it's basically like another saline bag that they mix in there where it's supposed to be like nausea
Right.
medicine
Right.
and stuff. But yeah, that's basically what I deal with. So as soon as I get there, he's disappointed in everything else. It's a good lesson for him. Obviously, I know it's a crappy one. He's very disappointed in himself, but you know, um, you can't play around with this stuff. You can't, and I know it's something that maybe you didn't even think about or anything else. That's why I don't like going into weight cuts being like that much over myself, even, but it's a learning experience. I've been doing this for like 14 years. That was his first time ever. So
Right.
it's hard to bring up, but he's doing good. It was just a scary moment for the other guys where they're not used to having to take somebody to the hospital for a weight cutting issue.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, when you messaged me that the other day, I was just like, dude, that's nuts. So I'm glad he's okay. That's unfortunate that he wasn't able to fight, but it's good that he's okay still. So
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
switch gears. Let's talk about something a little bit happier. Tell me, Chase. We're both coaches. As you say, I coach soccer. I coach boys and girls high school soccer at Centerland High School. Uh, Chase is a coach at where are you a coach at?
Greenville Jiu-Jitsu right now. And then before that,
Greenville
Detroit
Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu was memory school. Yep.
And yeah, obviously Detroit Jiu Jitsu is.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, you need to go back and watch the interview that I did with Chase a handful of weeks ago. He was, my first interview, and probably going to be the only person that interview. Honestly, I'm not going to be. I'm not Ariel Hawani. I'm not chasing clout like that. I break down fights. I analyze fights, and this is just a good friend of mine who I plan on doing a little show with. So, um, I personally, I think coaching is the most rewarding thing out there. It's the rewarding thing that I've ever done personally.
Mhm.
I There's nothing better than showing someone how to do something that they didn't think that they were able to do beforehand. And them saying that, like, I never thought like that. I don't know about you, Chase, but I think that's my favorite thing is I never thought I was gonna be able to do that. I never thought I could do that. And like you were the one to be able to pull that out of them, because that's all coaching is. I don't
Mhm.
ever think coaching is molding someone or I was the cog behind this. No, and that's why I explain to the kids because they get so excited because I'm not the head coach of the team. My buddy Mike runs the team,
Mhm.
but I work with the goalkeepers and I do a lot of work with conditioning. And they come to me and they just say, "Oh, you did this and you did that." I'm like, I didn't do anything. I show you guys what's inside of you already. So that's my favorite thing about coaching is just pulling things out of people who that they didn't even know was there. So, what about you? What's your favorite thing about coaching, Chase?
I mean, honestly, it's pretty similar. I love the fact that you can. I kind of steal like some of the stuff that my coaches told me throughout the years, and some stuff I've seen online and the way I like getting coached. I like building their own like techniques, what they like doing themselves, or I like people cultivating their own style or being their own thing that they're good at. I think one thing, and not to get in coaching in general, but like this is gonna go to what I like. But like too many people try to put somebody in their box, right? You have to do
Absolutely.
this, you have to do that. This is what worked for me. Let's do this because this worked for me. Everybody's different, right? At the end of the day, everybody's taller, shorter, fatter, stronger, slower, whatever it is, right? I feel like too many people get put in the coach's box. Well, the thing I love doing, and I think that's the most fun and something that a good friend of mine, Martez, heard. He's like a brother to me. He does the same thing that I do now that I've coached him, and this vice versa, is cultivating people's style and making them use their own imagination. One of my favorite things to teach, and I always say this on like my classes I teach in Greenville, is like, hey, I'm going to show you this move. This is what I like doing. I
Mm-hmm.
make up a lot of moves too, which is very fun because then like people have to make up the problem solving for that move when they're getting hit with it a lot of
Right,
times. So, hey, I'm going to show you something. Don't be afraid to try something out though and try something different. I said, ask me questions. I know it's the most embarrassing thing when people gotta like ask a question though, especially when we're all adults, right? But try some stuff out. I know I'm saying this, but hey, why don't you mix up your own flair into this? If you think something will work differently, do it because you might teach me something. I know I'm the black
right.
belt in the room and I've been doing this forever, but at the end of the day, like you might do something on accident. I might be like, oh, wait a minute, let's back up and check this out real quick.
Right.
Because that's the biggest thing about coaching or learning in general. I feel like we always like try to direct people too much instead of letting them kind of problem solve and figure it out themselves. Number one,
No.
I feel like, and I think you can agree with me on this one. They'll hold on to it more, right? If they problem solve that thing themselves, then that's something they're always going to remember. Oh, you do this for this situation. But if
Yeah.
you like direct them and guide them and have to hold their hand throughout it, it's something they might actually just lose. But I feel like if you kind of show them the way and they figure it out themselves, they'll always hold on to it. So that's like the really enjoyment part for me is problem solving and them kind of figuring it out themselves. And like as a coach, like I love coaching. I'm gonna be a great fighter. I'm gonna get like pretty far in this sport, I think myself. But as a coach, I'm the best coach in the world. And that's no disrespect to all my coaches now who hear this and will watch this later. They all know I say this. They all laugh at me, but I am. I'm the best coach in the world. It is what it is, at least for my sport.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I'm so excited. I'm actually promoting some guys for the first time ever as a black belt. I'm giving some belts out. I'm actually promoting some guys in
I
some
love it.
jujitsu. So I'm super excited for that. It's weird feeling too because it's like you cultivate these guys, you help them out, you get them to a level, and it's just I don't know. I'm happy for their success, and it's
Right.
very fun to see.
No, that's yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. Well, we are approaching an hour, man. So, do you have just anything else to add for the first round three dinner stream here?
No, no, it's always fun talking to you, brother. I think a lot of people are gonna really see the differences in how we like think on things, which is great because you got the commons
Yeah.
man kind of way of thinking, and you got the smart guy who knows a lot of this stuff. And look, man, I know you don't think about it like that, but I do. I think you're very intelligent. You got that special look, like when you see this stuff, you got a way of thinking that's like above and beyond, especially from the analyst side. So very, very smart. That's why I'm here. I'm here to give like the layman's like, hey, this guy looks cool. He's got tattoos. He's gonna win. Um, but no, man, it's always fun. I want you guys to have fun. That's all listening as well. Like we're out here, me and him are just basically buddies talking about fights. All right, and that's what we
Yep.
want you guys to have fun and listen to it.
That's it. Not trying to go viral, not trying to have 1,000 people in here. I think the most we had in here tonight was like 5 or 6. I mean, I'll take that. I'm happy about that. So thank you for everyone who supported the first round three dinner. Um, like I said, we're going to be doing this hopefully twice a week. That'd be awesome if we could do it twice a week. I'm not going to push too hard though, but at least once a week, and then we'll try to aim for twice a week because I don't want to come on here alone anymore. This was really fun, and um, so yeah, I think I'm only going to come on here with Chase, and we'll have more topics, MMA related or not.
Right.
So that is it for me. That is Chase Militia Keebler. I'm Rayfield Garrett. This was round three dinner, and we will see you next time on round three.
Peace.